Hello guys. This is Veritas Fitness. I'm Edmund. I'm running the brand. Decided to team up with Kuza Fitness. We decided to come up with a video segment because we noticed something that's reoccurring. It has been reoccurring for years between our trainers and our clients, and we decided to find a way of how we can bridge that gap between trainers and clients. So we noticed one thing that normally happens, the approach that normally happens from both sides, clients and trainers. What are the questions that clients ask trainers? What are the questions that trainers ask clients? So we decided to come up with two version segments. This is going to be the first one. What are the basic questions as a trainer you should ask your client? And we decided to get two brands to try to see and put our heads together and see whether we concur on the kind of line of questioning that needs to normally be directed towards the clients. So normally when a client comes to me, normally the first question I normally do, or before I even ask a question, I normally would love to introduce myself. It kind of creates that sort of bond between you and the client. The client gets comfortable. The client feels like he or she is in a safe space. They feel like they can relate with the trainer. So normally when I'm done with that, I normally want to know what are their goals. You see, most clients come with different goals. The client tells you, I just want to cut my tummy, I want to work on my bum, I want to do what, but you see, that's not really the scope of the work. And we normally want to ask, where do all those lie under? Are you trying to do weight loss? Are you trying to body build? Is it fitness performance you're looking for? So normally after we get a slight insight into what the client normally wants, then I get to know whether the client wants weight loss. I get to know exactly where my line of questioning is going to go. So I would normally want to know if they have had any medical conditions prior to this, because you see, as trainers, we find that some are actually certified to train people who don't have medical conditions. But when you find someone has a medical condition, the kind of training has to change. You have to tweak it just up a bit to make sure that it's in line with what the client needs, and it's not really going to hinge so much on their medical conditions. So normally when a client tells me they have this or this or this or this, it becomes very easy for me to find a way of creating a workout schedule that is in line with that. Then of course I would also want to know, like, what do you do for a living? Now most clients have always asked, why do we ask that question? Doesn't it feel like you're getting too personal? But the one thing they don't realize is this: for a client who sits on a desk, a secretary or office workers, they normally spend so much time seated, which means that's a lot of inactivity going on. So I get to know that the kind of workouts I need to give this person need to be intense. Now for someone who works like in construction, they already do too much work. So the kind of workouts I'm going to actually put up for them are not going to be as intense as somebody who sits at a desk. Then I also have to ask about how many hours of sleep do you have in a night, because it never helps. The workout regimen will never work if you're not having enough rest. For an average human being, you need to at least have 8 hours of sleep. And so if you're not having enough rest, the first things I would always want to put across is to find out how we can remedy that. How can we ensure that the workout program matches with the kind of hours you're putting in, and how can we help you get better rest afterwards? Then I would also ask about the nutrition. How do you feed? Because do you keep a food journal? Do you watch your diet? Or that is something I also need to monitor. You see, I have clients I work with where every day they have to take a picture of what they're eating, so that I get to know that this is what they're eating, so they're keeping up with the program. For those who are not doing that, I tell them it's a good place to start, for you to start keeping a food journal and doing that kind of work. Because it doesn't help me to give you workout programs, give you a diet plan, if you're not doing your work on your end as a client. So Those are some of the basic questions we always need to ask. Get to know. You ask a client what are their short-term and long-term goals. Different trainers train differently. We all have fitness routines we go through. You will never find 5 fitness trainers who train the same way. No, it will never happen. And it's always good to ask a client so that you get to know the line of question, the line of direction you're taking. Are they suitable for the kind of program that you're going to take them through? And if not, what kind of steps can you take to ensure that they can actually adjust to it? You see, it normally doesn't help to just find a client and you're just like, okay, let's just start doing this. In most cases, it will never work. There are always steps that need to be taken. You cannot start putting a client who's trying to get on a weight loss journey. You haven't measured their weight. You don't know their height, which means you don't know their BMI, which means you actually do not know the exact weight that you'd call a safe range in which they need to be in. And the one thing I realized that we need to do as trainers, or we really need to step up, we really need to be concise, and we need to be, for lack of a better word, we need to be honest. A client is not going to come and tell me I need to lose 20 kgs within 3 months. And I tell them, yes, it's very possible. That's a lie. I always have to ask them, how many months did it take you to put on that weight? So at the end of the day, the most clear answer I normally give them is your kind of work, your determination will always determine how you're going to improve, or if you're actually going to decline. So these are some of the questions we need to really be honest and ask clients. And I thought I would really team up with Kuza Fitness, because as a brand, Veritas, I've worked with various clients, but I've also worked with him and I've seen the kind of work he does, and I've really been happy with the kind of work he does and how he trains the clients and how he treats them. And I figured if there was a place where we could start and see how we as trainers could also come up with a platform and find out engaging our clients better, this is where we have to start from. So I'm really happy that you guys took the time to come through and watch this, and I hope we can meet you next time on Thursday. Till then, God bless.